Welcome to the Deepers Creepers podcast, where we like to get high and talk about horror movies. I'm Casey.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Taylor.
Yay! We have a very special guest, obviously, a longtime friend and listener of the podcast. She is a big fan of ours.
Big fan.
Probably one of the few people in the world that's caught up. Calling you people out. Those of you who aren't caught up. So, this week, what are we doing, Jess?
We are talking about the Evil Dead 2013 remake, bitches.
That was really pointless because they definitely read the title of the video, but that's okay.
It still deserves the anticipation, okay?
Absolutely.
It is very good.
I just want to start by saying this is my favorite horror remake. Period. And I know it's a very bold statement, but I'm ready to defend that today. And I don't think that I'm going to have too much opposition. I know that we all really like this movie, and I know that we're all really excited to talk about it. So
yes, I don't know if it's my favorite horror remake. I would need to go back through a bunch. First favorite that comes to mind is probably the 2009 Friday the 13th. But we have a lot of good things to talk about. The reason that we are doing this week, as usual, we have our guest pick the movie, unless it's Zach, in which case I pick the movie, and we make him just sit there and talk about it.
yes.
Yeah, that's fine
So after, a couple weeks of consideration, she finally came to Evil Dead, and I think maybe it has something to do with Evil Dead Rise coming out.
It absolutely did. I could not stop thinking about Evil Dead Rise, and so I kept going back to the remake because, well, I love the original 3 movies, of course, but the remake was amazing. So, yeah. And the trailers all reminded me of the Evil Dead Rise movie, so, yeah, had to do this one.
They have
absolutely.
very similar feels. I haven't seen Rise yet. We are all going to see it on Wednesday night. Wednesday after this is recorded, so...
Terrible horror fans, please forgive us. We've been busy, and it was my birthday.
And she was out of town. It's been crazy. So, we are so excited for that, though. But I did read today that and I don't know why I assume this, it's not a sequel to the original. Or to the 2013. I think it's its own separate new thing.
I kind of got that vibe from watching the trailer.
Kind of in line with the series. This is one of the, as far as, and yes, we are doing the 2013 Evil Dead remake, but remake, requel, sequel, I don't know what to call it, we'll discuss that. I will also probably be talking a lot about the original trilogy because I fucking love those movies. I absolutely do. Fan. I hate myself for the fact that I have not seen any of Ash vs. Evil Dead, but I've heard great fucking things.
I watched a little bit of it. It was good. It was just so corny. Reminded me of Army of Darkness corny.
And I like that, but it's of its time good. It's not something that could be made today. And what I'm saying as far as the timeline of this franchise and why it's so weird is that the second movie is a sequel, but it is also a remake recap of the original.
Yeah, because they go back and they there's no friends, and I think it's just him and his
girlfriend. But it's the exact same thing, but way more over the top. And it runs through, the plot a lot faster. And then the third one is its own thing. Army of Darkness is its own sort of...
Yeah, it is.
And I love it. I fucking love Army of Darkness.
Oh, me too.
It is... I think it's pretty split in the horror community.
Really?
Yeah, as far as Evil Dead fans, some really don't like it because it is so different. This franchise is also known for being over the top gory.
Which I love.
Schlocky amounts of blood from day one.
Lots of blood.
And this takes all of the elements of the first two, that schlocky amount of blood, that over the top gore, but they take out all the comedy. All the B part of it. I mean, when you watch the original, you feel like you're watching a snuff film because it's shot in so low res, and because it was such a small budget, and everything just looks it looks like Sam Raimi shot it in his backyard, which he pretty much did, but in the best kind of way. This is just bleak.
Yeah, there's there's almost no happiness in this at all.
None whatsoever.
From the get-go, it's just brutal.
And I love that they did that, because they took a franchise that we know for being funny, and they said, you know what? No,
And then another thing I love about this movie is the fact that, like, once shit hits the fan early on, it never fucking stops from there. Like,
those vines.
The vines.
That's where it starts.
Mm-hmm. You get no moments of reprieve. And I know
that's
we've
like,
talked about a lot of movies like that, but this is like...
That's like 20 minutes in.
That's 20 minutes in, and it just doesn't stop. And these kills are brutal. There is not a single easy, quick death in this movie. Everything is, like you said, over the top, gruesome.
Cranked up to 11
yes.
the entire time.
I fucking love it.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Every minute of it.
So we're definitely going to go through the plot, little by little, and I'll still be talking about the original. Part of that is because I have very certain things that I like to see in a remake. I'm not one of those people that fuck all remakes. I'll watch anything. I don't care. I love all horror. Obviously, y'all know that. I'm doing this fucking channel. But, things that work for me in a remake are things that this remake did. So, we'll have to go through that. But there are a few things that I would change about this remake, and it would probably make it my favorite.
All
Just
right. I'm interested,
minor.
to see.
I'm interested to hear that.
Okay. So, plot begins, scared girl running through the forest. We, right at home in Evil Dead, man. She is being chased by... Do we already get POV camera shots? Because we get a lot of those in this movie, and that is signature Ted Raimi.
I don't think so.
I don't think we've got...
She's just wandering.
I don't think we've gotten them yet.
Okay, I guess that's just when the abomination comes later.
Yes.
But yeah, so we get this girl running through the forest. She gets captured by some people. She is tied up in this basement screaming, I want to go home, I want to go home. I don't know what's going on.
These fucking terrifying, no offense, inbred looking people.
Hill
yes,
people. Like,
they are there to hell.
And by that I mean,
Appalachia, like,
Hills Have Eyes people. Like, these are wrong turn style.
I'm just like, what
Except
are
for
they
one.
here to help?
Who's like a normal suburban white guy in glasses.
Yeah.
And he takes off the girl's blindfold and she goes, Daddy? Woo!
Whoa.
That's not what you expected, is it? I wrote, that bitch a deadite. I just knew immediately.
I was tricked for a minute there. It was like, because I wrote bitch got snatched, and I was like, oh no, what the hell? What are they doing to her?
I mean, they hit her in the head with the butt of a shotgun to knock her out.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed like these were,
you
enemies from the beginning.
Oh yeah, I mean, you see these strange looking people in a dark basement with a sacrifice looking girl.
Like some witch voodoo stuff going on.
You're gonna be like,
yeah. She's tied up, like,
what is going on?
What is going on?
What kind of sacrifice ass, wrong turn remake kind of shit is happening right now.
Yeah.
And then?
But then, so she's asking for her mom. I really, like, that's just a sad, like, creepy line when she's like, I want mom. And he goes, Mommy's dead, baby.
You know that.
You killed her.
You killed her.
You killed her. And I'm just like, that part, though.
He's trying to fucking burn this demon out of this bitch.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the Deadite, as it usually does, drops the act once it realizes it's not getting anywhere with that. Which, again, has been since the original. The Deadites will turn back into their normal form to trick people. So that's what this girl was doing. She's a Deadite. They have to burn her alive. It's pretty fucking awesome.
Pretty cool.
Rip your soul out, Daddy.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
And then he blows her freaking head off, like... What?
The double tap.
I didn't really... Yeah, okay.
The double tap.
There's that.
Because...
I'm sorry, bitch gotta die.
Because, like, okay, thinking of the original, how do they kill the Deadites?
It's been so long.
And that's part of it, is, like, there's no rules in the original movies.
No.
Because these movies were B movies in the 80s and the 90s, and they weren't meant to come into the modern era of horror.
Yeah, no.
And the era of the internet. Because if you get something wrong in your movie, Twitter will come for you.
It's true.
So then, we get the title scene, the Evil Dead, with the intense music for just a split moment.
Yeah.
And then I wrote we love an upside down film forest scene. We love an above forest with a tiny road in the middle, above the car shot. Such new, much wow, is what I wrote.
But it's very much like Midsummer. That has a that kind of exact shot.
Or even, it reminded me of Smile, too.
There are so many movies that use this kind of camera angle.
I haven't seen Smile yet.
Oh. Well, that's just one
shot.
shot.
That's not a
well, I
spoiler,
know,
yeah.
but I hate that I haven't seen it. I'm sorry.
Oh, you ought to.
So anyway, we get to the cabin in the woods.
Nothing ever goes wrong in a cabin in the woods.
No, there's not
never.
movies about it, or a movie titled that. Love
tropes.
that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, or an entire trope cabin. Anyway, so it's a group of friends, and one of them played by Jane Levy, who I fucking love. I love Jane Levy. I loved her in Don't Breathe. I know she was in Suburgatory. A lot of people loved her from that. I just think she's great. So it's her and a big group of her friends, and one of them is her brother. And they are there to help her kick. Is it heroin?
I don't know. All I wrote was like a lot of wasted drugs.
It's a
lot. Like that is a lot of money to be throwing. Okay, anyway.
It's a powder, so I don't really know.
Some kind of powder.
I mean, it could be.
I'd say heroin.
I would say heroin, probably. Just because, like, kind of the color of it, I guess. It wasn't pure white, but also, that's a lot of heroin, but the amount. That's a lot of coke. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a little coke goes a lot longer than, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've heard.
I wouldn't know from experience.
I have no idea.
I don't do cocaine.
I do cocaine. No, my dog does, remember? Watch that video. Anyway, so she does this whole 13 steps bullshit little speech where she dumps it down the well, and, I'm just thinking of the Leprechaun movie. And little Lep's down there just having a goddamn party.
Oh my god.
Where the fuck did that shit come from?
Or throwback to Zach. Little Jessica's down there and she's getting fucked up.
Little Jessica's dead. that little Jessica OD'd.
Poor little Jessica.
I'm lost, but it's funny.
I
Little
ain't
Jessica in the
seen
well?
the sunshine.
Oh shit.
3 damn days.
She made that joke after someone was talking about little Jessica.
It was Zach who was specifically
And
talking
she
about
made
little Jessica.
that. She started singing that song.
Because she was down there for 3 days.
Poor baby Jessica. Anyway.
Anyways, baby Jessica's dead. Just at this point.
She didn't die as a baby, though.
She died if she had heroin sprinkled on her.
I love
Poor
babies.
cocaine.
Jesus was a baby. I like the baby version the best. Anyway, so after she dumps all that, one of her friends is a nurse, and she's explaining to her brother, like, she needs to get through these 3 days because, you know, she'll have a lot of physical reactions. She'll be going through withdrawals. But then she says, once she gets through those 3 days, she's good forever. Is she, though?
I think that's not how that works,
For shit.
guys.
First of
Otherwise,
all,
rehab would work for a lot more people.
it would
Yeah,
work
absolutely.
for everyone. That's what that is. No, as soon as you have access to it again, a lot of times you go back. That's how addiction works. And then, like, in her next sentence, that friend, I wrote down no one's names. That friend,
Olivia.
thank you, Olivia, is like, well, we've tried this before and it didn't work.
Okay, so what about that 3-day thing?
I mean, that's great to be able to, that's the first step is quarantining someone and getting them past that point. But it's an ongoing struggle and battle, and it's an ongoing need for help. Like,
it doesn't just go away.
Yeah, you don't just hold someone in
Man,
a cabin for 3 days and then yeet them back out into the world.
Nice?
And be like,
that would
good
make
luck.
things way easier.
I mean, that does sound like America's healthcare system, though.
I mean, basically,
if we're
yeah.
being honest.
Well, she is a nurse, so that's all she knows.
That part.
Because that's all they teach them, because that's what they can do.
Yeah, because she's
Anyway.
trying to convince David to basically kidnap her and not let her go.
Yeah, like, once she says, let's
Period.
go, you say no. We're all just going to say no. I kind of get it.
Yeah.
I kind of get it.
It is
I
a very,
get it,
it's a
but-
very tough situation.
I mean, her...
It leads to some
Yeah.
gaslighting, but also, like, they have spent, like, Mia kind of, we find out resents David for the fact that Mia spent all this time around their mother, like, when she was really ill. We find out later it's mental illness, and she resents him for not being there. And so these people have spent a lot more time around Mia, so they kind of know her struggles and the things that she's gone through a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a really tough situation.
They've watched her make these promises before.
Well, and
they said
she's
we've seen her
OD'd.
make these. Yeah.
And she
Twice,
almost died, yeah.
is what
She
they
did.
said.
They said
Oh
she
yeah,
did
she
technically
did.
die.
But they had
and
a
you
they had to
Yeah.
defibrillate.
Clear. I was
Clear.
doing the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because normally, but I was
Any
Can I have
last
one final?
word?
Clear.
Clear. Fuck yeah, Scream 4. We love those movies.
Oh yeah,
All
Scream
of
4.
them.
We have covered all of them on this channel.
Truly.
I have liked all of those videos. Anyway.
So anyway, they're going through all that, and as soon as they get into the cabin, like, she's complaining about the smell. This depiction of addiction is honestly, like, pretty realistic in a lot of senses.
Yeah.
It is.
It's Mia, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Her, which is Jane Levy's character, her absolute just desperation and, like, just raw, like, not okay. Like, she is crying. She's like, I can't stand that fucking smell anymore. Like, it's hard to watch if you've ever seen anyone go through that kind of thing. Like, it's...
Can be a little triggering.
It's like, oh, God. But it... And that's kind of when you're like, this is just a few minutes into this movie, and you're like, this is different than the Evil Deads I've watched in the past.
Yeah.
Also, I can't believe this came out 10 years ago. I just want to say that.
I know, yeah. I was looking at that date and I was like,
Yeah. I saw it in theaters, and it was fucking
Seriously?
awesome. Yeah.
I love that.
I left, and I was like, that was the sickest movie ever.
It was amazing.
Dr. Satan!
Dr. Satan! Ah, Dr. Satan!
Oh my god. You guys are my people.
So then Grandpa, the dog, who they brought with them.
I love that his name is Grandpa.
I do
I
too.
know. He starts, pawing at this rug,
Which
and
is
then
never good sign.
they realize that there's this whole ass basement. I don't know how they lived in this cabin and didn't realize that there was a fucking... Or not lived, but, visited this cabin all the time.
Right.
And never realized there was a basement. Whatever.
Huge blood stain.
Yeah. So they go down there to explore, and it smells like burnt hair and dead animals.
And guess what? There's dead kitty cats everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
And you know what? Fucking Eric. I hate
Fucking
Eric.
I literally, the entire time I
I'm
was
talking
taking
shit about
notes,
Eric.
It was fucking Eric.
Me
every
too,
time.
me too.
Fucking
Is that not
Eric.
Marty?
That's not Marty.
Well, no, Marty's amazing, but it's supposed to be Marty.
Yeah, not Marty.
Yeah. Not Marty.
Yeah, I didn't
Stupid
write down
Marty.
anyone's name. He's just not Marty to me.
So
So
they go into the second room in the basement, and obviously they see these dead cats and all this creepy shit down there, and Eric picks up this fucking thing covered in a, trash bag and barbed wire. What a fucking great idea. Let's open it.
Why the fuck not?
Eric is literally the reason for the motherfucking season of the dead here.
Oh,
okay?
Yeah. The entire reason that this happens.
Like,
I wrote
stop
down,
reading the goddamn Latin. Stop reading the Latin.
Don't read from a
People
creepy
scribbled
book.
it out and said, don't read. Don't say it. Don't think it. Don't write it. Like,
There's part I wrote it.
I have...
There's a lot of really fucking cool shots in this movie that
I
Very
love
much.
the way this movie is filmed.
very much reminds me of the first one. Just very, it'll be, really canted, really tilted. It'll move with somebody. When she's in the car in a minute trying to drive away, it's shot very much like you're the passenger and you're kind of moving with her. And it's just, it's very disorienting at times and very effective.
Right. Oh, yeah. So, we see this kind of, moment where as Eric is in the basement reading these words, this Latin, Mia is outside pacing in the rain because she's just so sick from her, what we think are, her withdrawal symptoms. And as soon as he finishes reading the last word, Mia, vomits and, falls
Projectile.
over.
I think this is the part where it's
Start
like
seeing the
original
POV.
shot. Yeah, the
Yeah.
POV.
Yeah.
shot.
Which, I don't know if anyone knows this, was achieved by Sam Raimi literally holding a camera while riding a bike.
Are you serious?
In the original Evil Dead, he rides it from the back of the cabin, through the cabin, out the front of the cabin, and pretty much right in directly to Bruce Campbell. Yeah,
Nice.
that's Sam Raimi just...
I want
I
to
got this!
ride
No, I really want to get this
my
shot!
I love riding a bike, but I just how do you? Okay, anyway, that's
That's talent.
He did it
That's
for
talent.
us. He did it for
He did that for us.
we still appreciate it all these years later.
And then Marvel stole
We'll never forgive. Anyways.
Never. I wrote at this point, if you guys have ever seen The Mummy, where she's like, no harm ever came from reading a book. Like, every time I see this movie, that's what it reminded me of.
Honda.
Yes, it
Yes,
has.
yes, it has. Like,
Yes.
example A.
Like all the people that read the Bible and now they hate gays and
Yeah.
trans people, which it says nothing about either in the Bible, but what do I know?
Yeah.
Anyways.
She
Read the
said
book.
that, and I felt it and meant it. She said it, I meant it. Anyway, so we get to this
Demon.
slightly problematic.
Oh, you're talking okay. I was just
with
talking
the
about
vines.
like yeah.
Yeah.
Before that, how
Yeah.
she like saw the demon like and it was like panting.
Yeah.
Like and that was the first shot when she was like
The abomination. Did they say that in the movie? Because that's what I've always known it to be called.
they don't say it
It's
in the
like
movie.
the entity, I think, is
They just say he. He's
it.
coming. He.
Listen, James A. Janice calls it the abomination, and that's where I got that from, so I'm going to keep calling it.
That's fine.
I don't know where that
just-
came from.
Yeah.
But anyway, the vines grab Jane Levy, and
After she crashes the car that she stole.
if you've seen
Yeah,
the original,
into a nasty pond.
yes, if you've seen the original, you know what happens next. If you haven't, prepare yourself. The vines grab her, spread her legs, and you see one vine shoot up into her.
And the scream
Yeah.
is just
So my
traumatizing.
this is obviously a very triggering scene.
Yeah,
My
absolutely.
plus for this scene over the original is that in the original, the actress that was in this scene, had all the, she was pulled apart by the thing with all four, and that was where her scene ended. It was not until she was at the premiere of the movie that she realized that Sam Raimi and his team had digitally input the final vine to go up. So she had no say-so in that. She didn't know it was going to happen, and they did it without her permission. That, I'm sure, was
Ooh.
so fucking hard to see on screen.
Yeah.
So that, in the original, every time I see it, I'm like, on top of it being problematic just in itself, she didn't know it was going to happen. At least Jane Levy was aware that
Yeah.
this was going to happen, and she was on board. However, this was directed by Fede Alvarez, who also directed Don't Breathe. I'm correct in that, right? He did direct this, Fede Alvarez.
Let me pull up.
She's
the-
worked with him on a couple things, and she has stated her distaste with his directing on set, and just kind of he's a little over the top, a little.
Yes, you're
he'll
right.
scare his actors, kind of, to get reactions, just things that she didn't really like, and so just little things like that piss me off. But Fede Alvarez is a great director. I mean, this and Don't Breathe, like,
Yeah.
do you know if he's directing Evil Dead Rise? I don't think he did Don't Breathe 2, which was a very different movie.
I actually
Did
did
you
not
see
I
that?
didn't see the second
No.
one.
I saw the first one.
It's not really. I mean, it's okay. The little girl in it is awesome. I really like her in the acting. My problem with Don't Breathe 2 is that the blind man is almost positioned as the good guy of the movie. Like, it's like, oh, he's a bad guy, but these guys are way, way worse. So you're, like, rooting for him. But he's like,
Yo.
no, I saw that first movie.
Yeah, I
I
was
saw
gonna
him with that
say,
turkey baster.
He was a writer of Don't Breathe too.
Fede Alvarez?
Yeah.
Surprising. Why
But
did you do that to me?
he has nothing to do with the
Evil Dead Rise.
Evil Dead Rise. Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be like its own thing, but it does have that same tone that this one does, even though it's 10 years later.
Excuse me.
I think
This
there's
movie's
like,
very blue-green, by the way.
there's different universes, I'm pretty sure, but I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
remember which ones, like, Evil Dead and Evil Dead Rise are a part of.
Right. Because,
I
I mean,
think
I
it's,
could...
like, one Evil Dead and then Evil Dead Rise or something like that.
So, I'll go ahead and just get into my little things that I would change about this movie, and I think it would make a
Sure.
perfect remake.
Sure.
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 So, I love the
Sure.
original. Sure.
Sorry. Go.
Sure. Yeah, sure. So, the original is almost a perfect film in my opinion for what it is. This does it takes that original concept and it does so much more with it in so much different way. And like I've been saying, it takes away all the humor, and it's like, okay, what if that, but it like really fucking scary. Because that is a terrifying concept for all your friends to start turning into these things, fucking and it's everybody murdering
demons.
each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like the designs have always been scary. Their eyes, their faces, they just turn into these terrifying fucking things.
Yeah.
So I love that this movie did that. I wish, because when you watch this and you think about it, it could be a remake of the first one. It could be a sequel to the first one. It could be, or the first, a sequel to the franchise. It could be a requel, which is a sequel to the original. It really could be any of those, because it doesn't negate anything from the first one, and it doesn't mention anything from it either. So it could be same universe, just completely separate stories.
Yeah.
And I love that idea of just like it interacting with separate things. I just wish that they hadn't used the few lines that they did from the original. So there's the brother's girlfriend at one point goes, in the worst fucking rendition of this, "Oh God, what happened to her eyes?" Which is one of the best lines in the original because of the way she says it.
Mm-hmm.
Just, oh God, like she's so... And this is just such a boring fucking version of it. There's a couple other I can't
His girlfriend
think
is
of.
really boring.
Yeah.
Natalie's that. I didn't write her name down. I didn't fucking care.
She's boring.
She's boring.
And then later, "We're gonna get you." The way they did Linda's voice in the original is terrifying. So, just the little things like that. And it's not even the repeated moments, because I think the Vine thing repeated is very effective. Mm-hmm. I think Natalie cutting off her arm later is very effective. I like that they gave it to her and not Ash. So I think repeating those kinds of things makes sense, because it's the same entity. I just don't like the repeated lines. I typically don't like listening to actors redo an iconic line.
Time to go to sleep.
Because it
especially
is always...
since it's such a different movie.
Yes,
like this
such
is
a different movie.
I agree with you on that. Like I do agree with you on that, because this is nothing like any of the movies before it.
It really has nothing to do with the actor that's saying the new line. It's that when you're reading that line, you already have the original in your head. Well, that's how the original actress said it, so I want it to be different than that. Even though your original read of the line might be the way the original actress said it, so now you're forcing the line to sound different, even though it just sounds forced now.
So then it sounds inauthentic,
So there's 3 or 4 times in this that I was like, ooh, I would cut that part out, and then this would be a perfect fucking remake. Because it takes everything it needs to from the first one. And yeah, I mean, the fucking stuff crawling up Natalie's arm later, and we finally get the, does it work if you, actually cut it off? No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Spoiler.
Anyway, okay.
I said one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. Mm-hmm. It's just a small scene, but Mia in the bedroom after she gets back from the car crash, and she's like, "There's something in the woods,"
and she's so scared. Right now.
Yeah,
it's literally the acting. I have chills. The acting,
she's
fucking
amazing.
Incredible.
Terrifying.
Oh my God! Her spitting out the words the way that she does, just so staccato. She's like, and it's just fucking. That does not look like a fucking relapse symptom. A withdrawal symptom to me. This poor girl is
terror.
Fucking terrified.
But then again,
that's true.
That's
the whole thing. Is it a symptom? Yeah. Is it a withdrawal symptom, or is it?
I read
this demonic nature.
I read the Heroin Diaries when I was in 8th grade, and there are so many entries of him sitting in his closet, convinced there are monsters just outside the door, just that shit just, it does it to you, man.
Yeah.
But then again, she
that
just
fear though.
Yeah, they should just know.
No.
Oh, so why would you do it out in the middle of nowhere? I know we want to keep her away from things, but
well, to be fair, that was a cabin that they had positive memories with as children.
Still in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
This is a medical situation.
Yeah.
Also, I don't even remember what happened next, but I said, "Eric, you've done enough damage. Put the book away."
Put the book away.
This whole thing is me
So
talking about
we
Eric.
get she boils herself in the shower. That's a great scene. Her face is super fucked up now.
Before that, David found Grandpa. And he was going in to confront Mia, and that's when he saw Mia in the shower.
And then the dog never comes up again. But I guess that's kind of the
I'm
least
happy.
of their worries.
I'm happy that the dog never
I
came up
hate
again.
when dogs die.
I know. I didn't want to see
It
it.
doesn't have to happen.
I
Like
will
that.
look up. There's a website. Does the dog die? And I
Yeah.
will not watch the movies usually unless I have to.
I loved it, except for this. I hated it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see it.
Just don't have a dog. Just don't have. Sorry.
I mean, you already got like dead cats hanging from strings. You had to kill the dog too.
Yep.
I don't.
I also like a demonically hot shower, so like I can relate, Mia. But girl, you
Shit is
cooking in
literally
there?
on fire.
Yeah,
This
it's.
Oh god.
So then they're discussing Mia's treatment instead of just leaving. Why? I don't know.
That's a great fucking question.
I don't know. So then she comes
Olivia's
out
a
with a gun.
registered nurse.
You know, I know a lot of those. I'm gonna stop right there. So
The girls that bullied you in high
Mia-
school. Sorry, we're continuing.
That are fat and married now.
And miserable in their
Miserable
relationships
with 3 children. Anyway,
that they hate.
that they cannot stand.
I'm literally not talking about anybody specifically, but Casey is shooketh because we're speaking about people that she personally knows, I think.
Yeah, I'm talking about like every popular girl.
So
Anyways.
Mia has a gun.
Olivia goes first. So.
Mia's got a gun.
A shotgun.
Mia, last name's got a gun. Not another teen movie, you know, over there.
No, yeah, no. I'm also thinking of. Never mind. Anyway, so this is off the rails.
If shit hits the fan, it doesn't stop.
That's what I wrote right here.
Literally.
So some shit happens here, and I said to Jeff while we were watching this, I hope nothing ever happens to you where there's a question about what happened or who did it. Because if anybody ever has to go through my notes, here's what this small section says. Okay, Reagan, use a toilet. LOL, he slipped on her face meat.
Oh my god.
Stabby, stabby. I don't know what happened in those few minutes. But
Okay, so
I wrote Mia's twitchy and armed.
I said the clicking of her head, terrifying.
Natalie gets disarmed later.
Dude, fuck you.
So one thing I want to know is when Eric is like David's like, everything's gonna be fine, and Eric's like, everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. And I was like, shut the fuck up, Eric.
Never
this
once
is literally
does he
your
admit,
fault.
Eric, never once does he admit it's his fault.
No.
I wrote,
yeah.
yay, blood fountain. Ooh, it's junky.
Well, yeah, so Mia grabs the gun and shoots David, and then she's like, you're all gonna die tonight, and then they kick her down in the basement. And that's
She
when...
pukes all over Natalie.
Yes. And that's, no, I thought it was Olivia.
Oh, yeah, it was
Yeah,
Olivia.
because
Into
then
her
Olivia
mouth.
goes to take wash the puke off and get more
Yep.
sedative, because
Yeah.
they were trying to put her to sleep. And that is when the little...
Yeah.
Yeah, I said falls on her skin flap.
Yeah. I said face meat.
What did you say?
Piece of face.
Piece of face.
We all had pizza face. We just had pizza, and now I'm never gonna eat again.
Oh god.
Pizza face.
Not DiGiorno.
So, we get a, I don't know if it's a Saw reference or what, but we get somebody beat to death with a piece of a toilet. That's cool.
That
We
was
always love to see that.
Cool.
Oh, also eye stuff, man. Eye stuff
Oh,
freaks
God.
me the fuck out. Like, she had the needle she was gonna use for the sedative, and like once she was fully in her deadite possession, she's stabbing Eric in the eye. Which I'd also like to say, I could talk shit about Eric all day.
I fucking hate the guy.
He deserves everything that happens to him in this movie. He gets it harder than anyone fucking else. He literally gets beaten, shot with a
Stabbed.
nail gun, stabbed in the eye,
His
Beaten
hand.
some
stabbed,
more.
Like,
beaten some more. Like, this man goes through it.
And then burned.
I love
yeah.
it though. Like, he
It's amazing.
deserved every single thing that happened
every
to him.
single second.
Every
yeah,
one of those nails.
When he pulled the needle out of his eye, I was like, huh,
You deserve that.
huh.
Again.
I freak out when I have a piece of dirt under my contact.
Did you watch Would You Rather?
Yes.
Netflix? That
Yes.
Brittany Snow?
Mm.
That was so
Jeffrey
good.
Combs?
Oh my god, that was so good.
Such a good movie.
Yeah, I need to
Katie and I
revisit
watched
that.
that
But
randomly one night, and it was really good.
shout out to Katie giving out the random horror movie realness.
Oh.
Good night, meet train,
yeah.
Katie.
Dude, seriously, Katie and I just sometimes will just sit down and be like, let's watch something. Like, not too long ago, we sat down and we were like, let's watch Willy's Wonderland. I actually fucking loved it. Nick Cage is the main person, and he doesn't say anything the whole movie.
What is it?
He speaks no words. Willy's Wonderland.
It's like a mock-off of Five Nights at Freddy's or something?
Yeah, animatronic, like Chuck E. Cheese animatronics go
you know,
crazy
I fucking
in a building
hate,
and kill people.
You know I hate puppets and mannequins and animatronic things.
Did you see Banana Splits?
No.
That's another animatronic version. It's
okay. I
so that one and Willy's Wonderland both came to be because of the whole Five Nights at Freddy's fiasco, which I keep hearing is coming out this year.
Oh yeah, I've heard that too.
I'll be there.
I'll watch it. Yeah.
You know what I'm gonna fucking meet opening goddamn weekend for? Totally gonna derail this podcast. The Last Voyage of the Demeter. I cannot fucking wait. Dracula. Bram Stoker's Dracula. There is one chapter called The Last Voyage of the Demeter, and it is where Dracula is attacking a fucking ship, and they made a whole movie out of it, and it looks terrifying. Big old giant Dracula.
I like the...
Die. 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 I can't. You know the Dracula musical?
Across the oceans of time. No, I don't.
When I swear, when I see Van Helsing, I swear I will slay him. Ha ha ha!
We're gonna watch that.
Okay,
Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Oh.
The Dracula musical.
Oh god, I only saw that like one time.
Yeah, same.
I fucking hate Russell Brand.
I do too, but I
can't
love
watch
Jason
stuff with
Segel.
him in
I
it.
like Jason Segel, but
You don't?
I do.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he's
was like-
fine.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
So
fine.
that and I Love You Man are definitely two of my
I
comedy
Love You Man
comfort
is great.
movies.
Yeah.
Paul fucking Rudd.
I can't watch
Lou Ferrigno. He's like, "What's up, Hulk?"
I can't watch that, and I can't watch
Get Him to the Greek.
Get Him to the Greek. I can't. I just hate Russell Brand so fucking much.
He plays a piece of shit character, so it's easy to hate him in every movie, basically. But
I
I'm sorry, I
feel
had to derail it for the
I feel the same way.
Dracula musical.
I feel the same way about and y'all can at me at this. I don't care. Shameless. Everybody's like, oh, but they're fun to hate. I don't want to watch annoying characters. I don't want to watch annoying characters the whole time.
I've watched
They're
it
bad
for like
people.
a few seasons, and I was like, oh, this is just, yeah, no.
Anyway, so everybody's fucking just like the group is deteriorating.
They're not
much
fucking.
like this
They are
podcast
deteriorating.
is.
Everybody's fucking, and they're falling apart. Much like my life.
So,
Same.
Natalie had gotten bit by Mia.
Casey,
On her
you know,
hand.
you and I have the same phobia, and you know I was triggered.
Oh, yeah, that was a pretty... I mean, like,
Yeah.
Natalie's an idiot
Tryptophobia?
anyway.
It is,
What's it called?
yeah, I think it's tryptophan.
I said my whole phobia is triggered. I can't remember tryptophobia.
The fear of, like, little holes.
Little holes, yeah.
Don't even say LH.
Cause I can't talk about it. So anyway, she's sitting there
You
and it's
literally
like
gagged me
growing
talking.
up her. We're gonna stop talking about that part. It's like growing up her arm, and so she takes the little electric knife carver thing.
The bread slicer.
Carving knife.
That
I feel much better now.
part was fucking camp.
Dude, I
that
laughed
part
so
was
freaking hard.
camp.
I had to do it. So much better now.
Because he comes in there and her arm is hanging by the thinnest string, and she's
And
like,
she just like.
"I feel
Plops.
better now."
It
Plop,
literally
the
plops.
plop. Camp galore.
Oh, God.
That's such a good part in the movie.
I love all the arm ripping in this movie because, like, if I had 2 nickels for every time someone ripped off their own arm in this movie, I'd have 2 nickels, but. Which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Like,
Yeah. Then my next note just says, Eric is Captain Obvious, annoyingly pessimistic for someone who holds so much blame. Like, my whole notes are just me shitting on Eric.
I wrote, my brother shot a staple in his hand once and went blind, because that happened. My brother was like a preteen, I can't remember.
Why are you
Why am I
laughing, you
not
fucking
surprised?
psycho?
Because he's not blind now, dumbass. He's fine. I mean, he's schizophrenic, but that's not the stapler's fault.
That's not, dude.
Let's talk about...
My brother, one time, when he was like 13, he was playing with a staple gun because he was a teenage
go
boy,
figure.
as
you do.
So he was like pressing on the thing and nothing was happening, so he put his finger there to see if it would work, and it went in, and he was fine for like a minute when it happened. You know, it hurt, and he went to my mom. But you know how when your mom starts really freaking out about something, or your parent or whatever, and you're like,
you looked at me and said, your parent.
Your parent.
It fucking hurts worse.
And you're like, and you start freaking out. My brother panicked so bad he went blind for a few minutes. Like, he's like, Mom, I can't see. And his, like, gaze just went totally, like, glazed over. And he's like, Mom, I can't see. And we're like, she's freaking out. We get him out into the sun, and he can see all of a sudden. And then I just remember the nurse making fun of him because he wouldn't let her pull. It was a staple in his finger. He was fine.
Oh, yeah. That's not bad. But this was a fucking nail gun.
Yeah.
These bitches were this big. Ow. But again, we get to see Eric get got.
Yeah.
We get a proper chainsaw also.
Fuck yeah, we do.
Let's see.
This is where she like, this is where she like splits Eric's hand in half.
Oh, with the crowbar.
I laughed really hard at that too.
I
I'm
did.
not
His
gonna
fingers,
lie. I was
his
like-
little
he
fingies
was
were like.
Oh, and I think we skipped one of my favorite little parts of the movie, which I think is pretty much everyone's favorite little part. When Natalie's down there trying to defend herself with the box cutter, and Mia licks the blade and splits her tongue in half.
And then she licks her like leg, and then she's like, "Make out with me, you fucking whore, or you little cunt," or something like that.
Because then the thing
Kiss
she
me,
says
you little
to
whore.
her brother in a minute is just, I was like,
Why don't you come down here and
I'm like,
suck your pretty little cock, or suck your cock, pretty boy.
Yeah.
And then she said, "Your little sister's being redacted in hell," and I was like,
rude.
"Mia's not here, you fucking idiot."
Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
Got my Exorcist shirt on today.
Got my fucking Ghostface shirt. Go figure.
Still a good shirt.
Yeah, thank you.
We love
Appreciate it.
Ghostface.
Can you see my boobs?
Free advertising all the time.
So, he makes a homemade oh, wait, hold on.
Wait.
I skipped some things. What just happened?
Lots of things.
So,
Yeah.
he's gonna burn the house down at one point, because pretty much everyone's dead now.
Basically, although
Well, not Eric hasn't died yet.
no, not Eric. Nope.
No, but he goes missing for a while. We don't see him
No,
for a
he's
while.
in they're in the water, and she tries to drown. She tries to drown David.
Yeah.
Like so, they're in like this. I don't know, this fucking under like the house like flooded area.
I guess.
And this part's really funny to me too, because she tries to drown David, and then Eric comes out of nowhere, you know, and he's trying his last little bit to save David. And it's so funny to me that he survived all the shit that he did, but one little stab with that like razor blade in his side was the nail in the coffin. No pun intended.
No, I thought it was the neck. No,
It was
he
his-
stabs.
Yeah.
His deadite self is the one that stabs what's his name in the neck.
Yes,
Okay.
but he got one stab like in his gut, and
Yeah.
that was the final thing. And he's like, "David, I missed you, man." After he talked shit the whole fucking movie, Eric, we're glad you died.
Yeah, fuck
Fucking
you.
Piece of shit.
You deserved all 20 of those nails.
All 20.
Plus
He
the
got
crowbar,
shit and the crowbar.
plus the nails,
And the needle.
plus, or I said nails, I meant
He
needle.
got beat a lot, too. He got his ass
They
beat
literally
by
duct
deadite
taped
Mia.
his fucking wound. I was like hysterical.
Oh, yeah, they're like,
okay.
hold that there, and they just...
And you just see more blood pouring out. I'm like,
But yeah, he's
You're
beat
gonna
the
be okay,
fuck
buddy.
up. You could be okay.
but yeah, that one little stab was the nail in the fucking coffin for Eric.
So everyone is kind of not okay, and the brother decides he's gonna burn it, because in the book, one of the ways to cleanse, so the 3 ways were burning, a live burial,
Dismemberment.
or dismemberment. So
And I'm sorry, but like, I have to interrupt here because why is live burial not the first choice of like every time? Because at least you have like a slight chance of being able to like save them. You know what I
But
mean?
you have to have a defibrillator, which his works fairly easily, so you're probably right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just the whole
I'm
time
sorry,
I was
I
like, why
wouldn't-
was this not the first choice? But okay.
I wouldn't trust it to get the fucking demon out.
But
I want that bitch to stay dead.
That's true. That's true.
Personally.
Because
Yeah.
it doesn't...
If it was my brother.
It does work, but it doesn't...
Depends
No, I
on
guess
which
it does
one
work.
of my brothers.
Because he's...
But-
So...
I'm just kidding, TJ.
Just kidding. I love all of you.
And because... You know what? We are going to say that. Because by him saving her, that's how he dies. And because she had technically died and come back, that's how
Oh,
they get 5
5,
deaths.
yeah.
And that's how the abomination is able to come back. So if he had just fucking burned it and walked away, it would have been done.
100%.
yeah, true.
He
But
was
I get
selfish.
wanting to save your sibling also.
It was selfish.
I get also not wanting to burn your sibling alive.
Yeah.
The coming of the fucking abomination is worth.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna be
That's
dead
how I
anyway.
feel about
That's
the
like
last
Cabin
two
in the
people in the
Woods.
cabin.
Bitch, that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Fuck
y'all
the
really
world.
won't like die to sacrifice yourselves for like humanity.
The whole world, Marty.
Lame ass movie, but Truth or Dare also at the very end. She was like, "Fuck you guys." Anyway,
It's like Homer going down in that thing. Just
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Anyway, so he buries her, and so then when she dies, it's like, okay, now he's gonna unbury her and try to revive her. Step 1, take off the bag. Dude does the whole defibrillation thing with a fucking plastic bag still on her face. Listen, if you revive her, she's still not gonna be able to breathe. There's a bag on her face.
That's a good point.
and I'm sorry, but like I would wake up like probably hyperventilating with a bag over my face,
Like, what happened?
decreasing my odds of survival. Anyway,
Truly.
yeah.
So, but it works. She wakes back up, but then he goes back inside and
Is attacked by fucking
Fucking
Eric Deadeye.
Eric,
I said he's a
God.
nuisance even in death.
Even in death.
again, the Deadeye designs are all really cool. They're
was
not
scary
over
as
the
fuck, in
top,
my
but they're
opinion.
very scary. The
Because
eyes.
he got fucked up in life, so he looked real fucked up in
Yeah,
he did.
his demonic form.
Yeah. So yeah, he gets stabbed in the neck. And I said, so technically it claimed 5 lives because she did die, but is it the soul? Because they do mention souls. And if she came back to life, I mean, it seems like she got her soul back.
Seems to have it back. I was
So-
asking kind of the same question like towards the end of the movie, but then I was like, I'll not ask
whatever.
the question. It's easier.
Yeah, but then Blood Rain.
Blood
I
rain.
love the Blood Rain. It's so
Yes.
fucking cool. Her and the Abomination are fighting.
Great chase scene, by the way.
It's so fucking good.
So
David had set the cabin on fire by shooting the propane tank
Yep. And
or
he
like
already
the gas can,
had already
and
poured it
so
everywhere.
yeah, so that was burning while she was outside handling
Awesome fucking
handling this
backdrop. Literally Blood Rain.
I said, we love the blood rain.
Literally Blood Rain, burning building in the background. The Abomination flips the SUV over onto Mia's hand, and she literally just fucking rips it away. We love
Before
all
that,
this.
though, like when she's in the shed and it's like stabbing through with the machete, that noise, and when it's
It gets
slicing
her
thuu her
thigh.
legs, it's like
It gets her good a couple
it's
times.
does get
it's
good, like,
yeah,
twice.
it's really uneasy,
But
unsettling
then-
to watch.
But then,
But then,
in the Blood Rain, fucking flames in the background, she chainsaws it in half. Mia
feast on this motherfucker.
all the way down, and it is so much blood.
With her
I
one
love
fucking
it.
arm.
Face on this motherfucker!
I just want to
Love
be
that
a kill in a
entire
horror
scene.
movie. I don't want lines. I just want to be murdered.
I
just
want to
want
be
someone to murder me.
a scream queen for sure. At least like
Yes.
I'll be the first death. I don't even care.
I don't care.
I want some lines.
I really don't
I
even
don't
care if I
either.
have lines. As long as I just like, if I have a scream, that's fine. I'll scream, stab. I want a cool death though. I want to get chopped in half or some shit. Okay, if you could get murdered by any
Ooh.
like famous horror villain, who would it be?
I'm gonna have to go with Freddy because at least he would probably be funny about it,
That is true.
make a joke or two, and also I love him.
I'm gonna go with one of the killer clowns from outer space because then at least I become food and I'm cotton candy, so I'm pink forever.
okay.
Good
And I like
choice. Good
clowns.
choice.
Shit, this is hard.
Do you want like a fun, like creative death?
No.
Do you want a sexy death?
Yes.
Pearl might fuck you as she kills you.
That wouldn't be fun for me beforehand. I don't know. I'm just going to go back to my tried and true. I'm going to say, ooh, hold on. Oh, I want Baby to kill me.
Oh,
I want
oh,
Baby to
yeah.
hop on top of me and just fucking stab me to death.
You'll
About
just
her. I
die.
don't know how.
That would
listening
be
to that laugh.
that would be sexy.
Please.
Yep.
Shoo shoo said the rabbit. Yeah, baby, you can kill me anytime.
Anyway,
And I mean that.
so then there's this like weird but kind of cool shot of like the earth like swallowing the abomination,
And
but
its
it also
eyes
kind
are
of
still
melts.
blinking.
Oh yeah, it's got like the
love
two
that.
halves of its face. Like, ugh. I love a good bifurcation. I don't care if it's down that way or down like a
Matthew Lillard's
biplanar. Yeah,
death in
not Matthew Lillard. It's the lawyer in 13 Ghosts.
That's Matthew Lillard.
No, he's
He's
the
not the lawyer.
assistant electrician.
I
Like,
thought it was his death. But...
it's the shitty lawyer. He gets
Oh yeah,
cut
he
in
gets
half.
cut in half, and then Matthew Lillard gets squished, right?
Or I mean, even the one in Terrifier, just
Yep.
vagina first. I love it. It's awful, but I love it, man. And then the selfie. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of this movie.
Yeah.
I just have a question. Did she have to walk back?
I think she
Nope.
killed herself.
Oh, okay. I was about to say either hypothermia or
I would.
infection. Like she's got some.
She's got a big raging fire next to her. She'll stay warm.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But no, yeah, I think
But she probably lost a fuck ton of blood because her arm is no longer present.
she is fucked up. Like, I do have questions. Where'd she go?
What happened?
Is she all right?
What happened to
No,
Jane Levy?
I think if anything would
What
drive
happened to
someone
Baby
to
Jane?
if anything would happen to somebody to drive them to relapse, it would be this whole
I
goddamn
wondered.
fucking
I was like,
situation.
if I was her, I'd go home and do a lot of drugs. I mean,
fuck.
And everybody would be like, yeah,
All the drugs.
she went back to drugs because blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, I went back to drugs because everyone's dead.
I've been to hell.
I've seen.
Literally.
I've seen.
She
Helen.
was for a while. She
Yeah.
was. She died again.
So in comparison, drugs. I mean,
Yeah, that's true. She defeated a deadite. She should get to do what she wants.
Mhm.
So, great movie. Yeah, great movie.
Super excited to see Evil Dead Rise.
Yes.
In a couple days.
yes.
Final thoughts about this one or any, I guess we're all really excited to see Rise. I just hope there's a lot of blood.
And there will be.
Yes.
Yeah. lots.
Yeah, I mean, I love this whole franchise. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Do you have a favorite in the franchise? Mine's Evil Dead 2.
I don't know.
I just really
I
love
always
that.
say the original, but like as a kid growing up, Army of Darkness, since I was so young, it wasn't scary. It was just kind of funny. So,
Yeah, it's an adventure.
Yeah. But as I'm older, like I think the original. Probably.
Yeah,
I think this one and the original are tied for me.
fair.
Yeah.
There's just something about the second one. It's just a lot of Bruce Campbell doing his thing.
It's very
and him
fun.
playing against his own hand. Just
Ugh,
love it.
I love him.
Anyway, next week I think will be a game episode. I don't really know what's after that, but make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being on this episode. Thank you for
Yes.
picking this movie.
Yes.
Love this fucking movie.
Me too.
Uh,
Great choice.
Yep. I'm
Thanks.
sure we will have you back very soon.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
And make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Deepers Creepers, on TikTok at Deepers Creepers Pod. Email deeperscreeperspod@gmail.com with any comments, questions, concerns, or recommendations or requests. And until next week, stay spooky.
Bye.